while high. Now, for a link on the survey, as well as more on law enforcement's take on all of this, go to WISN.com for our web exclusive.
Half-inch, now we're just doing it by the gram.
While state lawmakers wrestle with how to regulate the booming industry of marijuana dispensaries in Colorado, the dispensaries are beginning to see themselves as a critical part of the economy and one of the only sectors that is booming. If there was any doubt, the recent Cannabis Crown Conference in Aspen should have dispelled it. Medical marijuana growers, bakers, dispensaries, and users gathered for a two-day conference at the luxurious St. Regis and Gant hotels, and while judges were deciding the best medical marijuana in the state, participants were networking, buying, selling, and sampling. At times, it looked like it could be any kind of business convention.
This is Quirkle. We got some Maui Wowie, Afgui.
Mike Lowe works at Alternative Medical Solutions in Aspen, one of dozens of medical marijuana dispensaries in the Roaring Fork Valley, and the host of the Cannabis Crown Convention.
This is like the biggest first step in medical marijuana movement for Colorado. We're helping the economy, we're helping the town, it's good for everybody.
Medical marijuana is becoming big business in Colorado. Denver and Boulder have some 350 dispensaries. The state has issued more than 66,000 certificates to cannabis patients, so many that would-be patients must now wait up to 6 months to get their cards.
It's amazing. There's more dispensaries in Denver than there is Starbucks. I like to play a game driving down the road, and I'll be like, oh, there's one. There's one. You just count them. You can just count them driving. It's awesome.
Brittany Hammer is one of those patients. She came with friends from Denver to the Cannabis Crown.
You have your license, you're safe, it's legal, it's totally worth it.
But critics say it's not what Colorado voters intended when they passed the medical marijuana amendment in 2000. The state legislature is pursuing new rules on dispensaries. One bill, sponsored by State Senator Chris Romer, a Democrat, would force dispensary owners to undergo criminal background checks and pay over $10,000 for a license. A group of Republican lawmakers wants to ask voters to ban dispensaries altogether. But in the meantime, the Obama administration has reiterated its position. It doesn't intend to crack down on licensed users in the 14 states where medical marijuana is allowed. The Obama administration's policies have given Colorado dispensaries the confidence to sell in public, often in venues that don't look very medical, and to host conventions like the Cannabis Crown. Conference organizer Damian Horgan left behind a job in corporate finance in Denver to start up Alternative Medical Solutions in Aspen.
The most viable business going right now. I mean, I think that don't get me wrong. I didn't go out and buy a new car or a new house or anything like that. I still face the challenges of any startup company, but I guess it's been good, and to be honest, I just enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the people I deal with. I do not miss putting on a tie and going to my office every day.
Anna Tankersley and Jennifer Smith run the Candy Girls, which supplies dispensaries across Colorado with marijuana-infused food items.
We brought with us some of our teas and some of our chocolate-covered cherries. We also have chocolate truffles.
Smith says she thinks medical marijuana has been good for Colorado's economy, and as other states see the benefits, it will catch on elsewhere too.
It is for everyone. It is something that is creating jobs everywhere, and it's really going to save our economy.
For KDNK, this is David Fry.
Channel 13 at 10. Cities and counties in Colorado could get to decide if they want medical marijuana dispensaries in their communities.
Another yes vote means House Bill 10-1284 is one step closer to becoming law. It's our big story. Lindsay Watts live with reaction to this controversial bill.
Eric and Heather, this bill has dispensary owners very worried. If it passes, it will mean a lot of new regulations. It could also mean businesses like this one that are already open could be shut down. Dispensary owner Brandy Bowen says she has nothing against regulations on her industry.
And it should have some more rules, for sure. There's just so many gray areas that need to be addressed.
But she says a new state bill is going too far. It would let local governments ban dispensaries, which some say would spark lawsuits since medical marijuana is legal under the state constitution. Bowen says if the Springs banned pot shops, she'd think about legal action.
I mean, we do well here and we benefit a lot of people, and I would definitely consider it.
The bill would also require dispensaries to close at 7 p.m. and make shop owners grow 70% of their marijuana.
That would be a huge issue for us.
The bill has already passed in the House and just made it through a second vote in the Senate. The Senate will have its final vote on the bill in coming days. Dispensary owners have been watching the process closely, knowing it could put their livelihood in jeopardy. Bowen says she just wants the waiting game to be over.
I just want them to set the regulations, set the licensing fees so that we can abide by them and move on with our lives.
While this bill would let cities ban dispensaries, it would still let caregivers sell medical marijuana anywhere in the state. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Lindsay Watts, News Channel 13.
And our Facebook.
I think that the Founding Fathers must have been stoned and plastered during that whole period.
Beer, whiskey, and wine flowed freely. But was another kind of contraband fueling a new America? Hemp, early American marijuana.
When I found out about hemp, it was totally a surprise. The Declaration of Independence was drafted on hemp paper. The Constitution is printed on hemp paper also. And so are most of our early founding documents from all the states. That thin, crisp paper that Bibles are printed on, that's hemp paper. In addition to our documents, our first flag was on sailcloth, all of which was made from hemp.
Even the clothes on the colonials' backs were made from hemp.
It was a very patriotic thing during the war to be clothed in homespun. Benjamin Franklin, the whole idea was when he went to Europe and was wearing homespun, that was hemp. That was 100% hemp. Homespun has never been anything but hemp.
The Founding Fathers all grew hemp. Thomas Jefferson not only invented a new method for breaking down the fibers in the plant, he brought back newer and stronger strains from a seed collecting trip to France.
Thomas Jefferson actually said there's no greater thing you can do for a country than to add a useful plant to its culture. He was probably looking all over the world for the right hemp to grow in Virginia. He was really into hemp. George Washington said many times over, make the most of the hemp seed and grow it everywhere. He had 40 acres in the south of his property that grew hemp.
Hemp was the single most useful crop in colonial America.
Sails, ropes, flags, banners, uniforms, logbooks, all that was made out of hemp. So it took 80 tons of hemp to outfit one sailing ship. And that 80 tons meant 350 acres of hemp had to be grown just for one sailing ship.
But were they smoking it?
A banned substance today, a plant that gets you high, was something that was smoked regularly by the Founding Fathers.
So the whole, the Founding Fathers, in addition to being drunk all the time, may have been high.